Hello to everyone. Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring this message forward for the divine feminine, the the goddesses of the kingdom. Okay, um, I want to tell you all about a dream that I had 2 nights ago. I had to take a little hiatus before I came back on here because the last message that I did was I was very passionate, and so I needed to take a break. But I ended up having a dream 2 nights ago. And in this dream, I was standing outside and there was this huge bus. It was like a party bus. And I was just kind of standing there as a spectator, just watching things unfold. I was watching a lot of women go onto this party bus, okay? And so next thing I know, a woman is going, but her whoever her man was, he was running behind her, and he started beating her up, like literally beating on her to try to keep her from getting on this party bus. And so everybody was just hollering like, "What the hell is going on?" But she still went and got on that party bus. She had on all black. She straightened out her outfit. She held her head up and she got on that party bus. So then another couple, another man is running up behind this woman who's getting ready to board this bus. And he gets on his hands and knees and he's begging her, pleading with her, crying, okay, literally tears flowing from his face. He's on his hands, on his knees, begging her not to go on this party bus. She said no. She got up and she went on the bus. So all I could see when the door would open, when they would get on the bus, because the door would close each time a woman would board the bus, okay? And so when the door would open, I kind of peeked in, like, what the hell is going on this bus where it's so much chaos happening with these couples? I automatically thought, like, okay, it must be some strippers on this bus, okay? It must be, some things going on this bus, and these men are losing their minds knowing that these women are going on this bus to have some things swinging in their face. That's all. I just made a quick judgment. That's what I assumed, okay? Because whenever the door would open, I would see a bunch of women standing there. All of them had on black, and they was all, clapping, and they was, excited. So I'm like, what the hell? It got to be some strippers on this bus because these men wouldn't be tripping like this unless it was. So I ended up somehow getting on the bus myself, okay? Um, and when I got on the bus, everybody was seated at this point. There was this big round table, and there was waitresses, like service people walking around, you know, um, giving these women food, at this big round table. Everybody was seated at the same table, but they kept passing me up. So I'm like, well, okay, maybe I'm just not welcome to this party. And so, I was just sitting there watching them eat or whatever. Next thing I know, Della Reese. Okay, now I don't know if you all are within my age group, but Della Reese is the woman who was well known for playing in the show called Touched by an Angel, which just so happened to be my favorite. I'm talking about my favorite TV show when I was a child. And she was standing there, and I just remember I saw her. She was very small, but she still had the same hair. It was about shoulder length, curled under, and she had that same white hair at the top and that black hair at the bottom. I always admired that when I would watch the show because I thought that was so pretty. And she pretty much, that's the only type of hairstyle I ever saw her with, is the all white hair and the black. So she had that, and I just remember looking at her and thinking, like, she's so short. Even though in real life I never knew anything about how tall this woman was, but I'll tell you all about that after I get done with the dream. And so Della Reese was standing up there and she was talking to the women. I don't remember what she was saying to them, but she was encouraging them. Whatever she was saying, everybody was excited. And so she came over to me. Mind you, I told y'all nobody was feeding me. She came over to me. She said, I want you to come with me. She walked me up to the front of the room and she sat me down in a chair at a table by myself. And she laid out before me this platter. I'm talking about all of the food that you could possibly think. I could just reach over and pick whatever it is that I wanted. And, I was just sitting there looking like, well, where's everybody else at? How come I'm sitting at this table by myself in front of everybody to eat? Like, and she was just like, whatever you want, there you go. You can have it. And so I was looking at the food like, is she trying to poison me? Like, what's going on here? I did not understand why she was servicing me separate from everyone else and in front of everyone. But the food looked so good that I was like, even though in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, what, if is she trying to poison me? I tore that food up, y'all. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Okay. I tore it up. So then I ended up waking up. Okay. So I had to say, like, okay, it was all women boarding this bus, men losing their minds. But when I got on this bus, I found out that it was just a peaceful setting with women gathering. It was a very balanced and peaceful energy. Granted, I was not getting the food at the same time. I didn't understand it at the time, but eventually I understood that I was being placed in a position before everyone to be serviced before everyone. So I don't know if I was held in some sort of high stature. I had to have been. And Della Reese, she specifically served me herself. And everyone was there to see her. Everyone was there to see her. She was the one who was like hosting this event, and she was the one that ultimately served me. And so I was like, well, let me look into this lady Della Reese, because honestly, I had not thought about this lady. I haven't watched TV in over 3 years, and I stopped counting a long time ago, so it's probably even been longer than that. So I haven't seen anything about Della Reese. I haven't thought about her since I was a child. I just know the show she played in was Touched by an Angel. That just so happens to be the show that she was well known for. And here I am in my dream, and she's there. And so I looked her up because I'm like, well, is this lady still alive? Come to find out, she passed away back in 2017. So I'm like, man, so this lady is already crossed over. She was in my dreams clear as day. So I said, okay, let me see. Because in the dream, I noticed that she was very short. That's one of the thoughts that came into my mind while she was standing up there talking in the dream. So I said, well, let me look and see how tall this lady was. Looked her up. She was 5'1" in real life. Okay. And so I said, well, let me dig further. All I know about her is that she played in Touched by an Angel. So let me see what's going on with Della Reese, where she would come to me personally in my dream and service me and sit me before everyone and literally service me herself. And so I saw that her birth date is literally the same date as my youngest daughter. Um, and I started looking into things about her, and I saw that she was obviously a minister. She had ended up becoming an ordained minister. And so I went to go and look at some of her short clips on YouTube to see what she was all about. And this lady was well beyond, like, she was not the type of minister. She was very unapologetic for the fact that she was not the cookie cutter minister type. Like, she was very well aware of your mind being um, your creative space. Okay. That's one thing that she spoke about all the time was, you know, creating abundance for yourself using your thoughts, using your mind, and having faith. Okay, having faith and allowing that, breaking through the spiritual realm. She was speaking on using, taking it by force, taking back your power by force in the spiritual realm. And y'all know, if you've been keeping up with me, you already know that I'm a strong advocate for taking your power back in the spiritual realm. So when I was listening to some of her clips, I'm like, oh my goodness, this lady is, she's on point. And for her to be up in age, to be speaking the way that she was, it was like she knows something far beyond the typical uh the typical knowledge that a minister or a pastor would have. Like, she's well beyond her time, I felt like. Even though she was a wise woman up in age, she was like, that was a true woman of wisdom. Because not everybody who is up in age possesses wisdom. And I'm pretty sure y'all can attest to that at this point in life. And so I was able to confirm that I really did have a connection. I connected with her in the dream state. She came to me in my dreams. And also, the reason why I'm addressing this for the divine feminine, specifically the goddesses, the queens of the kingdom, those who are the generational curse breakers, is because these women was boarding this bus, and there was men that they was walking away from. It didn't matter if they had to get on that bus with a black eye and a bleeding lip. They was going to get on that bus. It did not matter if the man was on his hands and knees with tears rolling down his face. They was not going to miss that bus. And so I'm strongly, I ended up, when I realized that Della Reese was a minister, I said, okay, well, maybe there's a specific passage that she might want me to come to mind. I'm saying this, a few minutes right before I started doing this reading. And so what I heard was Hebrews 10 verses 11. So I said, okay, let me just see what Hebrews 10 verses 11 says. So let me tell y'all what it says. It says, and every priest standeth daily, ministering and offering oftentimes the same sacrifices. So every priest they stand up daily, ministering and offering the same type of sacrifices, doing the same thing repetitively, which never came to take away sin. So it really never panned out to take away the sins of the people. Okay, they still ended up scorned and full of these toxic energies within them. It never worked, even though they stood up daily to do this, right? But this man, after he had offered one sacrifice, which I'm assuming they're speaking about Yeshua, for sins forever, sat down on the right hand of God. So, and then it says, from henceforth, expecting till his enemies be made his footstool. So these are the three verses that, showed up when I looked into Hebrews, these three verses right here, okay? And so what really stood out for me was specifically the part about the footstool. In terms of, hold on, because I just lost my passage. Yeah, from henceforth, expecting till his enemies be made his footstool. I feel strongly that the divine feminine, the goddesses, the queens of the kingdom, you're being called to catch that bus by any means necessary. Do not miss the bus, because this is also taking me back to, which I've discussed a couple of times, the bride's groom coming in by midnight when the clock strikes 12, and you got the 5 foolish women and you have the 5 wise women. And the 5 foolish women came, they didn't have the lamps lit, they didn't have their oils, the oil there to keep their lamps lit, to wait for the bridegroom to show up, which is the divine masculine to show up. But the 5 wise women kept their lamps lit, and they came with plenty of oil. So that's that energy of keeping your vibrations high, keeping that divine connection to the Most High God, eliminating all people, places, and things that do not serve you in preparation. Okay, not allowing yourself to get thrown off track because of someone's emotions or because of someone's codependency, because these men were strongly codependent on these women. They would go by any means necessary to keep these women from boarding this particular bus, okay? But ultimately, these women, they was catching this bus, okay? They was getting on this bus no matter what. Bloody eye, black eye, and all. So if you are currently in a relationship with someone, or you find yourself emotionally attached to someone from your past, this can be someone who you might have known for years, but you're not necessarily with this person, but you still converse with them because you know they have a codependency on your energy. Or this could literally be someone that you're currently in a relationship with, but you know this person has been so toxic for you that they have brought you down so many times that you know in your heart, you know that this is not your person. You're being called to catch this bus, okay? And on this bus, you are being served, okay? You are being acknowledged for your works. You are being acknowledged for your contribution, for healing, okay? And it's like the energy of the divine feminine is congregating together, nourishing amongst each other, okay? Receiving nourishment with amongst each other in a spiritual realm. And so apparently Della Reese, she gained much wisdom while she was here on earth. And I feel like she has taken a position in the spiritual realm at this point where she's actually ushering in, maybe she just came as one of my spirit guides. I don't know, but I strongly feel that there's something in regards to the divine feminine needing to let go, release yourself from false partnerships, past life lovers, people that you have recycled lifetimes with, lifetime after lifetime, that want to hold on to your energy because they fear you coming into union with your divine partner. Let me just see what's going to come out here in terms of confirming this dream. Look at this, y'all. This says adventure. This is one person, and that's a female, that's a little girl, taking the path, taking the road less traveled, going towards a path that is only lit for her. And this is an adventure, though. This is something to be excited about. I feel like that's why all of those women was clapping and they was excited, but this was going at it alone, leaving behind those men who chose not to heal, leaving behind those who are not your divine partner, and taking this journey, but knowing that it's going to be an adventure. There's something beautiful on the other side of this thing. And so I feel like, yeah, we are the world. This is all about closing out old chapters. Hold on, y'all, because my stuff is falling all over the place. Okay. This is all about closing out that old chapter. And look at this. You got all of these people that are holding hands. I feel like, wow, all of these images, all of them have the figure of a feminine energy. Okay, I don't see anybody that looks like they have a masculine physique. I feel like all of these are the divine feminines coming together with their lamps lit, because you see all of this light surrounding them, to shift the energy of the universe, not just of the world, but of the universe. Okay, and it's like needing to release all fear of taking this journey alone, because on the other side of this, there's something very beautiful that is being revealed to you, but it's only for you. And so this is a child in this first picture. That to me is all about healing the inner child. At the bottom of the deck, it says aloneness. And this is very similar to the first card that we have here, except for this is an adult. So it's this energy of taking this journey alone. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Right behind this, we have the rebel. Breaking free from all chains that kept you bound and taking this journey alone if you have to. Gaining that passion, taking your authority back, taking back control over your life, okay? With your lamp lit. Look at that. With your lamp lit. This is fire up here. Keeping your lamps lit and breaking the chains that kept you bound, because I feel like many of the divine feminine had masculines who wanted to hold on to their energy. That was like the stronghold in terms of keeping you from connecting with your true divine partner, your divine masculine, the gods, the kings of the kingdom, who are here to help build the kingdom with us. You're being called to break free of those chains. That's another part of your mission as a generational curse breaker, is to break yourself free mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, from anyone, especially if it is a masculine who has kept you from taking this path. And to not fear doing it alone, because on the other side, you are connecting. Those women that was getting on that party bus, they just knew that they was getting on a bus. Because like I told you, the door closed every time one woman entered. So it's not like they could look in and say, okay, well, I know that when I get on the other side of this door, things are going to be so much better for me. They intuitively, they knew something, though. These were the 5 wise women. These 5 wise women understood that in spite of what's happening around me, I'm going to keep my lamp lit. That man who came and was beating on that woman, she straightened her clothes out so fast, she held her head up high, and she still got on that bus. And no one was on there. When I got on that bus, nobody was there crying. Nobody was grieving or mourning. They was all on that bus giving praise, giving thanks, okay, expressing gratitude, having this feast, okay. Everybody was there in union. And so it's almost that energy of just knowing that in spite of what things look like, you're still being called to break yourself free of these chains, these cords that these people have to you in the spiritual realm. If you have, let's say, for instance, you have an ex that you've been talking to for years and you don't deal with him like that, but you still keep communication with him because maybe this person has always been there for you or something like that. but you know that this person has a codependency on your energy. This person has a codependency maybe even on the prospect of the two of you getting back together, but you know that that cycle has closed out, but for whatever reason you have not released this person. I feel like you're being called to fully release them to the degree of blocking them, like literally releasing them from your life, and not just doing the physical act of blocking them, removing them from your social media and things of that nature, but also cutting the cords in the spiritual realm and releasing this person to go and do the work to heal so that they too can finally connect with their divine partnership. Because you'll find that many of the divine feminine are not able to come into union with their masculine because you have someone from your past that, even though on the surface they seem like they have good intentions, in their heart they don't want to see you move on to that partnership, okay? And so energetically, spiritually, they put an energy out there that causes a blockage, okay? And you don't even realize it, you don't see it, you don't even think about it. But it's not until you start to see this from a spiritual perspective that you're able to understand that. And so, like I said, we had the man who was on his knees crying and begging. Then you had the other one who was willing to cause harm, cause physical harm to keep this goddess from getting on this bus. Okay? So there's extremes here when it comes to releasing yourself, but you're still being called to be the rebel, to take your power back and to break free of those chains, spiritually, mentally, physically. What else is coming out here? Look at this. You have compromise. Compromise. I feel like with this card at the bottom of the deck, the politics, you're being called to no longer compromise with people who have been wearing a mask, okay? So if this is another masculine or a person that you was dealing with, you might have found yourself compromising with this person. Right behind this is control, okay? You might have found yourself compromising with this person, but this person really did not have good intentions for you. They was playing politics. They really actually, many of them had very wicked intentions for you, with the snake being here, okay? I feel like there was something, because the snake is not always bad, but it can also indicate transformation. But I feel like in the context by which this message is coming through, and when you look at this person's face, they did not have very good intentions, okay? This person was wearing a smile in your presence, but behind that, it was a lot of wicked intentions, okay? And so I feel like for a long time you tried to compromise with this person, whether you had a friendship with this person after the relationship, or whether you actually was in a long-term connection or currently are still in a connection with this person. They're not good for you, okay? They're trying to control you. Look at what's right behind this. This message couldn't get any more clear. They want to keep you chained and bound to them because there's a level of protection that you bring for them. There's a level of comfort that you bring into their lives, okay? Because they need to be able to control you. They need to be able to keep you chained and bound and immovable. It's so many different things here to indicate being chained, but you're being called to break that. You possess the power to do so. It's not like you being called to break a chain that you are not capable of breaking. Because if you wasn't capable of breaking it, you wouldn't be called to break the doggone chain. But you are being called to take this journey alone for a time, because something is something that's being shown to you at this time, okay? And this is all about being that wise woman. Don't be the foolish woman that allows these people to come in and dim your light, so that by the time the bride's groom, because I told y'all 2022, this is the time of divine unions. This is if it's not the time for everybody to come together, I feel like this is the time where it's kicking it off, okay? 222, that's all about balance. That's all about justice. First of all, the justice scales, but it's all about balancing things out. And when you're talking about balancing things out, you're also talking about balancing out the feminine and masculine energies within the universe, okay? That masculine and feminine energy that exists within you, and that divine union of the masculine and feminines coming together. And so even if 2022 is not necessarily the year that you come into union, this is the year, I feel, where unions are beginning to come together, divine unions. And these are not just no everyday, you can find that, you can catch another one on the next bus. No, this is your divine partnership, divinely crafted and created for you. And on the other end, you are divinely crafted and created for them. And the two of you come together with a divine purpose and a mission to bring light, to bring balance, okay, into the universe, into the world. And so You're being called to take this path, okay? You've always been different. You are not the same. You are not just an everyday woman, okay? There's something that's very special about you. You've been created and crafted to do something very different. But look at this. The miser is right behind this. There are people that want to hold on to you, okay? And because they're trying to keep you constrained and stuck, you end up holding back all of these jewels, and you can end up becoming bitter, staying in these types of connections with these people that want to restrain you from your power and from your strength. Because like I told y'all, I just told you, if you was not physically capable, or if you was not spiritually capable, if you was not emotionally capable of releasing yourself from these connections, then you wouldn't be called to do so. But you are capable of doing it, because this chain right here is broken, and this person has their torch. They know who they are. This person right here, this lion right here, you already know this lion is physically capable of breaking itself free. But the lion is so conditioned to believe that it is like those who is around it, who probably stayed. If you consider, maybe you feel like you have to do what your mom did. If your mom was the type of person that stayed in a long-term connection with someone who was abusive, someone who was emotionally or verbally abusive, or someone who never respected her, or she was not able to grow. Maybe she felt like she always had to maintain a certain type of image. She was never able to come into the full version of who she is. But you watched her be disappointed for many years with the same person, and she might have passed that on to you. Well, if you marry this person, then you're taking on these specific vows. And that's another thing. When I was watching one of the clips of Della Reese, it just, how YouTube will play things just automatically. It's like another video will pop up, another 6-minute video popped up, and she started talking about how she was being abused by her husband, and how she ended up leaving him, and how one of the only reasons why she never walked away from him, or why she didn't leave him sooner, was because her mother, her last dying words before she passed was, if you marry a man and you say vows, you're not just saying vows to stay with that man, you're also making a promise to the Most High God. And so she had it in her mind that she had to keep staying and trying again and again and again. And a large part of it was because she felt like she had to live up to the expectations of what her mother said right before she passed. And so it was out of respect for her mother, but also out of a fear that there will be judgment before God if she was to walk away from this man who was beating her head in for years, okay? But she finally gained the courage to let this man go. And so, like I said, in my dream, this man literally beat this woman to a pulp, but she still got on that bus. You are being called to break yourself free from anyone that's trying to control you, whether it's emotionally, physically, or spiritually. There is help out here. All you have to do is say the words. Speak to the Most High God and tell him, all right, I personally call him Father God, but whatever you call the Most High, I need your help. I need your help. I don't know where to begin, but I need you to work a miracle for me right now so that I can break myself free from the chains that have kept me bound in this connection, or in this emotional connection. If you find that you're not with that person, but you can't seem to let this person go emotionally, you have to ask for the help and expect through faith that it's going to come, and that you're going to be given the guidance, that the light, your path will be lit. Okay, even though you're taking this journey alone and it seems scary, your path will be lit to guide you the entire way through. You're being called to take this path alone for a time, okay? Because there's something that's being shown to you. And so, like I said, if this lion was not strong enough, we already know the lion is more powerful than all of these sheep put together. But the only reason why the lion will stay stuck in this position is if the lion is conditioned to believe that it is just like the rest. Once this lion awakens to the power that it possesses, the lion breaks itself free and becomes the rebel. So this is what you're being called to do, because you have too much to offer. Look at this. Change. You're being called to make a major change in your life. Things are shifting. Do not miss the boat. This is the wheel of fortune. Do not miss the boat, because things are shifting. Things are changing. You see right there in the center, I got to get a better camera, y'all. But right there in the center, you got the yin and the yang symbol right there in the center, okay? Things are shifting. We also have all of the zodiac signs that's here surrounding this, okay, surrounding this wheel. So you all know that we are in the age of Aquarius. And so in the age of Aquarius, things are changing drastically, okay? You're starting to feel different. You're starting to think different. You're starting to believe and to perceive the world differently. You're starting to perceive and see yourself differently. And 9 times out of 10, look at this, y'all. 9 times out of 10, many of you have gone through some major transformations in your life, multiple transformations, multiple endings. Okay, you've had to take losses and you had to build yourself back up again. You had to go deep into the subconscious. You had to go deep into those unhealed wounds. You had to go and do some work on healing your inner child, okay, to finally allow yourself to be fearless again, because the child is the one that is fearless. It is not until the adult tells them, no, don't do that, that they start to become conditioned to believe, well, this is dangerous if I do this, or this is dangerous if I do that. But otherwise, the child is completely free. And the child just goes. So you're being called to recognize that the inner child, if you haven't done the work, don't miss the boat. Holding on to the past. Do not miss the boat being stuck in wanting to create something that is not your reality, because she's sitting down. You can't get on a boat sitting down thinking about the past, creating an illusion in your mind about someone who is ultimately wearing a false mask. Okay? You're being called to really go within. And if your inner child deals with having to heal from abandonment issues, having to heal from any fear of being alone, or any fear of not being deserving of love, or not being able to attract to you the type of love that you truly want, and so this is why you find yourself being stuck and allowing yourself to be controlled by these people, whether it's a specific person or whether it's a specific emotional attachment to someone, or this could just be people in your life, friends, family, co-workers. It could be anybody. But just know that you don't want to miss the boat. You don't want to miss the boat. You don't want to miss the opportunity when a bridegroom comes in, okay? Because I really feel like things are strongly shifting. 2022 just got here, but time is not waiting on no one, because it's almost the end of January now, okay? But you're being called to do something, and you're being called to do it fearlessly. Let me see if there's anything that's going to come out of these messages here. You have here, it may not seem clear, but the answers you need are coming very soon. Didn't I just tell y'all? If you do not see how you're going to be able to release yourself, where is this taking you? Where is this path taking you? I don't know where this is taking. This child doesn't know where they're going. They just know that they're going to go, because they know that there's something there that's guiding them and that's telling them it's time for them to take this path. This person here, they're alone. They are alone. They don't know where this is taking them. Everywhere else around them is dark, but there is this light that's guiding them and that's lighting their path, okay? So it may not seem clear, but the answers you need are coming very soon. So I strongly suggest, because the dream state for me has been so heightened to the point where it's like I have to implement them in my messages, because I feel like I'm being called to do that at this stage of my journey. And so pay attention to your dreams. Ask for clarity. Speak to your spiritual team. Open up the lines of communication. Put your altars up. You have to do these things so that you can get connected in the spiritual realm, okay? What does it say? Look at this, y'all. This says, you are chosen for this path. Keep going. Come on now. Do you not know you are chosen for this path? So even though you get on this path alone, or you might have been alone for some time and you wondering, well, why can't, you might be tempted to go back to somebody because you're tired of being alone. Or you might be alone and you're just like, well, you ready to give up. You ready for your lamp you about ready to have your lamp burn out, because you're not doing the maintenance on yourself to stay highly vibrational, to stay in that space of self-love and understanding who you are. Don't let your light burn out. Don't join the foolish women who was not keeping their lights lit until the bridegroom arrived, okay? Continue to do the work. It doesn't matter how long you have been alone. Continue to do the work, because you are chosen for this path. So keep going. And what's standing out for me in this message is that you are chosen. You are chosen. You were the black sheep of your family. You was the one that always stood out and was different. But you're being called to now take that power and that beautiful energy of being different, because that's all about being set aside and preserved. It's a beautiful gift to be different, because being different means that you're being that you are created to take this path. You have everything that you need. You have everything that it takes to be able to see what others will not be able to see. You have the courage within you to take the path that others would be too afraid to take. And those who was trying to hold on to those women in my dream, those men who was trying to beat them into submission through that energy of control, or those who was playing politics with them on their hands and knees begging and crying, when behind all of that they had a different agenda, right? You're being called to no longer compromise with these people. Don't sit stuck in the dream. Don't sit stuck fantasizing in hopes that this person will become your all. Because right now, it's an illusion that you created for yourself to keep from having to take this journey alone. Because for some of you, it might be a fear of being alone. It might be a fear of the unknown that has stopped you from taking this path. You have here time to fast with smoothies and water. So it's time to take a fast. Maybe collectively, the Divine Feminine, we need to do a smoothie and water fast. When I say smoothies, me personally, I like to drink green smoothies, adding fruits and vegetables, and then drinking plenty of water with that. Maybe do that for 3 days. If y'all want to do that, just tell me in the description, below. But I strongly feel like I'm being called. I'm going to go ahead and do it myself either way. But if y'all want to do it together, then let's collectively do this, because we are shifting the energy. We coming together. We taking our path individually. It seems like we're alone, but she's not alone, because there's someone who is lighting this path. Okay, it's not her that's doing it, but you still have to keep your light burning, though. You still have to keep your light shining, that light that you exude, that light that you emanate. So yes, I do feel, a part of this is her light that's shining, that's actually helping her. But this is also that of your spiritual team, the Most High God that has surrounded you with this beautiful spiritual team that is lighting your path. No, you can't physically see them, but they are there, okay? And they are ready to guide you as long as you allow them to come in, because we have a mission, we have a purpose, okay? And this is greater than us. So let me see, I'm going to pull 2 more, and then I think I'm going to close out. I think the message was very clear. It's time to release and get prepared for this path. So this says here, you are not inferior to anyone, okay? So I'm feeling like maybe when I was in my dream and I was, everyone else was being serviced, but I felt like they was passing me by, but ultimately they was not passing me by. I was being set aside and preserved for something that was beyond my own imagination. You are not inferior to anyone. I feel like in that dream, in that moment, I felt like, well, maybe they just, they don't see me. Maybe they don't feel like I'm worthy of being serviced with this food. So I sat there and I watched other people eat. But ultimately, I was placed before everyone and given the biggest feast of all by the person who was there to actually host this event, who everyone came to see. And so it's like in your time, in divine timing, divine order, everything happens when it's supposed to happen. And so it's like, one thing that I didn't take on in that dream was bitterness. I didn't take on this energy of, well, I guess they think they're better than me. No, I sat there and I watched everyone eat, but I did not become bitter. I did not become angry. But this is also to say you're not inferior to anyone. We all have our positions in the kingdom. We all have our roles to play in the kingdom. Just like the pinky toe of the body is no less important than the brain of the body, because they all have a specific purpose. If you don't have a pinky toe, you lose your balance, okay? And if you lose your balance, then you are susceptible to brain injuries, because you might fall and bump your head one too many times, okay? And so every part of this body, Christ consciousness, we all play a very vital role in the building of the kingdom. But we first build the kingdom within ourselves, and that's keeping that light lit. That's doing the work to heal. That's fearlessly and courageously breaking the chains, breaking those generational curses, taking the road less traveled, and knowing that you are protected and that your path will be lit, and that on the other side of this, you are chosen for this path. So keep going. Don't stop going down the path because you don't know where this thing is taking you. Just keep walking, keep going. Don't look back. And then what is it? Yeah, because on the other side of that, the answers that you need will be coming to you very soon. So divine timing. I had to wait. I had to wait my turn to be serviced. But when I was serviced, it was bigger and larger than anything I could have ever imagined in my dream. Okay? And so let me see what else this says, and I'm going to close out, y'all. Look at this. Oh my goodness. This says, your dreams will bring you the answers you seek. Your dreams will bring you the answers you seek. I just told y'all what happened in my dream, and that dream gave me a lot of answers. It told me a lot of things, because I'm not perfect over here, y'all. I have my moments, where I feel like, okay, I want my masculine. Where's my masculine? It's been 2 years for me. Come February, I've been celibate for 2 years, 24 months, okay? And I'm proud of myself. But then you have those moments where it's like, well, when is my turn? When is it going to be my turn, But I feel like this dream was confirmation for me as a part of the kingdom, as a divine feminine, to keep my lamp lit. The bridegroom is coming. Do not allow your lamp to go out sitting in that energy of bitterness or anger or sadness. No, you do the work that's necessary to heal yourself from that energy, to cut all cords from other people who might be trying to keep you stuck in that energy. No matter how minute it may seem the connection is, in the spiritual realm, it holds a lot of weight when you stay connected to people that you know are codependent on your energy, okay? And so this is the last one. It says, you have planted so many good seeds. Your harvest is extremely abundant. This is clarifying my entire dream. So I'm going to end up doing a reading for you all in regards to dream interpretation, because this right here, this is powerful for me in and of itself, because you have planted so many good seeds. What does that say? You have planted so many good seeds. Your harvest is extremely abundant. So it was like that energy in my dream of, yes, I was serviced after everyone else, but what was laid, the feast that was laid out before me was greater than anything that I could have ever imagined. Everybody else had a little plate. I'm not saying that got anything to do with y'all. Everyone else at that feast had a little plate. They had enough, but I had a table that was so full of food that, you best believe I probably took some leftovers, or I would have if I had the dream. If it would have carried out a little bit longer, I probably would have had everything up in my purse, okay? So just know, you plant all of these beautiful seeds. Consider a farmer. Or let's just say someone who plants a tree, because now Della Reese just came back into my mind, because the same woman mentioned, because I watched a few of her videos just to see the nature, the character of this woman, being that she came to me in my dream. And in one of them, she was sitting down and she was speaking on a tree that she had planted. She had her own tree. And she said she would ride past this tree and she noticed that the tree was dying. And she said that she began talking to the tree. Once she saw that the tree was dying, she was like, okay, I'm going to have to start speaking life into this tree so that it can start growing again. And so she said every time she would ride past this tree, she would wind down the windows and she would scream out real loud, "You're growing. You're beautiful. She would say, you're blossoming. You're more beautiful than any other tree out here. Keep growing. You're beautiful." And she would do this every single time. And she said she did not care if people thought she was crazy, because she said she know that a lot of people was looking at her like she was half crazy. But she would always do that for this tree that she had planted. And she said she did it for a period of time, so much so that the tree ended up blossoming so much that, and it had so many leaves surrounding it, that she ended up at a place where she couldn't even find the tree, because it had blended in with all the other trees to the degree where you could not differentiate one from the other, because that's how much it had grew from her speaking life into it. And so it's that energy of continuing to speak life into those seeds that you have planted. You know that you planted them in good soil, because you know that you did it from a space of a genuine heart, from a space of love, from a space of integrity. So you know that those seeds landed in good soil. Now it's just a matter of allowing these seeds to grow and to blossom and continuing to speak life into those seeds that you have planted. Because what you have done, you have planted so many good seeds that your harvest is going to be extremely abundant. And sometimes when you plant a big crop, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer than somebody who planted maybe a little tiny garden. You see what I'm saying? But by the time you get ready, by the time that crop springs forth, by the time it's harvest time and it's time for you to go, it's going to be so abundant that you're going to have to set up areas. You're going to have an overflow. Your cup runneth over. And that's how my table was in a dream. My table was so full that I could have invited everybody that was at the party to sit at the table with me. And they would have been full and had plenty to take with them just from leaving, even after everyone ate. So, wow. I'm going to go back and watch this because this message was really deep for me. And for me to connect with someone who has already crossed over, especially someone who was in a movie called in a show called Touched by an Angel, which was my favorite show, y'all. I'm telling you, when that show would come on, you couldn't tell me nothing. Like, I was all eyes and ears. And so, everything came together. And so I'm strongly encouraging you all to continue to keep your lamps lit, release, let go of the past, take the path, the road less traveled. On the other side, you will get the answers that you seek. Your path is going to continue to stay lit, but you have to catch this bus. Don't miss the bus. I think that's what I'm going to name this. Divine Feminine, don't miss the bus, because we are getting ready to come in union with our partnerships, and you don't want to be stuck and chained and bound to the wrong people, because they don't want to see this happen. This is a spiritual thing first before it has anything to do with you emotionally or physically coming into union. No, this is a spiritual thing, because spiritually this shifts the energy of the universe. And so I love you all. If you desire a private reading from me, you can always email me. And for those of you who have been inquiring about my oils, you can also email me about that as well. I'll be able to give you information about that. So my email is generally in the description box below, but if it's not, then yeah, you can leave a message in the comments and I'll always respond and tell you what my email is if you're trying to reach out to me. So I love y'all, and I'll talk to you all next time.